go by so fast. Well, there goes Tatty Tats. Everybody's neck goes spastic. What's up, poker cat? You look fantastic. The Amazon's so lively. I'm looking out for Ivy. Mistake me in the main. I'll sell some pieces. Someone buy me. Everyone knows that this time is special. No one can tell you why. Let's go colluding, suicide, super satellite. Sell some jars in the home by the bathroom lines. Kessler's vouchers, green bucks, he can't eat tonight. World Series now. Man, I can't wait to go. Soccer on ESPN. How good is that shit? Just for the seniors events. Let's hand out hundreds of seats at the end. World Series now. Man, I can't wait to go. Man, I can't wait to go.
What is up? Welcome to day 8 inside the WSOP.
Whoop, whoop.
Hello, I'm here with Sherry. How are you doing, Sherry?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. We're having a fun morning this morning. Certainly an interesting day 7. But before we get to that, I want to go ahead and go through the bracelet schedule for today, and then maybe you can go through the satellites and that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right, great. So at 10 a.m. today, we're going to have the day 2 of the $600 PLO deep stack, which attracted a really great field. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Also, starting at 10 a.m., day 1 of the no limit 6-handed $1,500 event. That'll be a pretty good event for those that want to get in there and play a little bit more short-handed play. 12 p.m., the 25K no limit hold'em 8-handed high roller. Everyone that is well known and that sort of thing will be in that event for sure. 1 p.m. is day 2 of the 10K 7-card stud. At 2 o'clock, we have the 5K no limit freeze out day 3. So that one's getting down toward the end as well. And then also at 2 o'clock is the $1,500 Omaha high low 8 or better event.
Wow, some awesome things that are happening over there.
Yeah.
The non-bracelet events scheduled for today at the WSOP include a 12 p.m. start of the $50 Gladiators of Poker Satellite. 1 p.m. is a $250 deep stack. 3 p.m. is a $240 mega for $2,000 in tournament chips. 4 p.m. is a 4 o'clock deep stack. 7 p.m. is a 580 mega for $5,000 in tournament. I'm sorry, not tournament, but casino chips. 8 p.m. is a $200 deep stack, and 10 p.m. is a $135 mega for $1,000 in casino chips.
Certainly a full day, and all kinds of events I'm sure we'll get to going around
Yes.
on around town. As we go through this, if you're live with us here, then feel free to jump in and ask any questions you might have about different events in town, where to eat, how to get there.
Hey, the monorail, the traffic jams,
Yes. Whatever, it was music to my ears. The gentleman yesterday saying, "I'm glad I listened to this because I wouldn't have even thought about taking the monorail."
And it's so funny because I brought that up about, I don't know, 10 days ago, and everybody just kind of shrugged me off when I said, you guys need to think about using the monorail in town, and nobody realized that there was traffic problems at that time. And then everybody's like, oh my God, use the monorail. And it just kind of tickles my funny bone that we're able to provide that information, and it's good, solid information, and somebody appreciates it.
Yeah. And I've been going to Vegas for years. I would say I've semi lived in Vegas at times. So if there's questions about things going on around town, I have been to a lot of different things, so I can give a lot of tips and things like that. So,
Heck yeah. Now I
yeah.
have the calendar for other events. You want me to go through some of them?
Let me get to the update for tomorrow, or
Okay.
the update, and then we can cycle back to that. That's you're like reading my mind, Sherry. I started to text you earlier because that's something that, like, getting through all the WSOP stuff, like I wasn't getting to that, and so that's great that you have that ready to go. I literally went to text you like an hour ago. So
No
WSOP
worries.
event number 3 wrapped up yesterday. As we said, over the last few days, 18,000 entries in that. They started day 3 with 30 players and went down and got down to a winner last night. Chip leader entering the day, Guang Chen finished second for 561,000. Tyler Brown wins his first WSOP gold bracelet, and less importantly, $1 million. So,
Well, and let me just tell you, that call catapulted him right to the Player of the Year leaderboard. Number one spot is
wow,
Tyler Brown with
yeah.
with 1,739.98 points.
So here's the thing: is and that's great that you looked that up, because I was actually curious on that, because you'll see the next two people are two people that have made deep runs, right, in this first week. Tyler finished sixth in event number 6, the 5K mixed no limit hold'em PLO, for
Right.
92,000. Coming into this event, he only had 204,000 in career earnings. So this has been quite the week, and like you said, makes him a really great early contender for Player of the Year.
Absolutely. And it's exciting that it's somebody, I've never heard of the gentleman before in my life.
It
And, that makes it even more exciting.
I think Snoop Dogg was calling him Raja. Not
Oh,
I
I'd
was
rather not say. I think it was.
no, it was funny because he
He called him
resembles.
Alan Kessler's kid. The
No,
con
no, no, not that.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
some some
Con Air.
some movie. Con Air, yeah. The guy that, why am I his name blanking
Well,
for me?
I am going to
Anyway,
call him champion of the
champion. That
mystery
is a good.
bounty of the WSOP 2023.
Yeah, and that's um not to be I'm doing that with a good heart
Of
there.
course, of course.
So
I went
event
back
number 10.
and
Yep.
looked at his 5K result. So he was, I think you mentioned he got sixth. He was 2 outered actually, so he could have had
Oh,
a deeper run in that event too, but got
wow.
unlucky. But definitely turned that around at the mystery bounty.
Yeah. Event number 10, the Dealer's Choice Championship. Now, here's the thing, guys. Dutch Boyd, he didn't get it done last night. And honestly, I blame myself. Like, I got done with dinner here in California. I looked to the airport to see if I could get a flight. I was
Right.
trying to think about driving, but I don't like to drive that late. So I didn't get up there, and I left my partner alone, and he finished second place to
It is
Chad Evsledge.
definitely all your fault, man.
Yeah,
All your fault.
yeah, totally. And so, I have to apologize for that. But hopefully he takes that run good into the tag team event,
Right
and
on.
we can get it done and capture Pops's bracelet
And
finally.
guess what? Congratulations for second place. That is amazing.
Yeah, 192,000. What a great start to the series for him.
It's amazing.
I'm just remembering off the top of my head, so don't quote me. I think Dutch has about 8 million in cashes coming into this.
Sweet.
So I could be wrong, but I think that's what I remember seeing a while back when I looked.
Good for him. Hats off
So
to him.
so he's definitely making his name as a mixed games specialist, or he plays so many different. He's a really great guy. Chad Eveslage, though, is the story of this tournament, finishing first and winning his second bracelet of the series and the $311,000 top prize.
And can you imagine that only puts him in 8th place for overall points player of the year?
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of the complaint that I've had over the years has been to say, well, these higher buy-ins get too many points, but here's a guy with 2 bracelets, and he didn't surpass Tyler Brown
Right.
with 1 and a
just to
good
give
finish.
you a little idea, Chad has 939.84 points and is in 8th place, and Tyler's in 1st place with 1,739.98 points, and Chad has won 2 bracelets.
I
So
think that's good. I mean, honestly, like to get through the Mystery Millions is a huge accomplishment. And I understand saying, well, okay, you get through that, you luck through that, but what else did you do? Well, I got another final table last week, so
right.
in
And
a
let's,
in a 5K,
18,100 and 17 players
yeah,
were beat by Tyler, because there was 18,118, right? So, he bested
yeah.
18,117 people.
And
Holy smokes.
think about how many 1-outers and 2-outers he had to avoid or get to get
Right.
there.
Right.
you know, so like Raj was saying, you just always have that problem.
And let's not forget the call of the night with Ace High last night.
Yeah, that's true as well. And to just thinking about, in a field like that, you're playing anyone from, Phil Hellmuth to like Bob from Poughkeepsie or wherever it
Right.
was that
Right.
he says. But so you've got to adjust to that, So um, Chad has over 7 million in career earnings with 2 WSOP wins and 2 WPT wins coming into this year. So now
Hats
he's
off
got
to him.
four WSOP wins and 2 WPT wins. His biggest cash before this year was 1.4 million in event number 8 last year, the 25K high roller.
Poor guy. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
he did not have a bad year last year. He was WPT Player of the Year. He won
Right.
the WPT 5 Diamond Classic. He came in 3rd in the WPT Rock and Roll Poker Open, $3,500 main event. So
How amazing would it be for him to win the main event this year and just be on this pure run?
Yeah, I mean he's quickly becoming, if he isn't already, a very known
Big
as one of the
favorite.
top players in the world for
Yep.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
WSOP event number 11, the $600 no limit hold'em deep stack, wrapped up as well last night, and Kenneth O'Donnell won that with his that was his first gold bracelet.
Did you
Along with
realize they had 6,085 runners in that tournament? I don't know. For some reason, I blanked out how many runners they had. And when I read it this morning, I was like, really? There was that many? That's amazing. What a
yeah,
great turnout.
it was a huge event, and and again, the cool thing is a lot of the big names playing that. So
And he got
getting
to take 350 grand home for his trouble.
yes, 600 the $600 no limit hold'em deep stack. Let me make sure that what you're saying.
While you're looking at that, Brian, I was looking up 3 bracelet winners in 1 year. It looks like there's been 6 players throughout the years that have done that. 3 of those pretty notable: Helmuth, Ivy, and Ted Forrest. So maybe
For
that,
3
Awesome.
in a year.
3 in a year. So Chad's
Yeah.
on.
I remember
tell me.
I remember the first one. I remember like as when I was playing, even getting two would be Jeff Madsen, and I think that he did kind of a similar thing where it was like right at the beginning of the series, and no one was catching him from there. So yeah, Kenneth O'Donnell wins that one, and you're right, Sherry. 6,000 entries. We're
Did
just
you
getting
really doubt what I was saying? That you had to
well.
go check it?
Well,
Wow.
okay, yeah. So no,
I'm
no, no,
messing
no,
with you, bud. I
no,
am
no.
messing with you.
Yeah. So where I got this from was when you're on day two of Poker News' site. It tells you how many entered the day as the number of entries. So there
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
looks like there were 318 that came back. I didn't think that sounded right for a $600 deep stack. And just a great value.
Hell yeah.
There'll be others along the way. So, O'Donnell, the interesting thing about this is that he got to heads up with Jefferson Guerrero, who took second place for 216,000. Only 3 hands of heads up before O'Donnell was able to emerge as the winner.
Ooh,
So
that was quick.
yeah, so he made quick work of that after a long, long grind. And
Well, I hear that he's a pretty good crusher down in Florida. And that win has catapulted him into third place on the Player of the Year leaderboard.
wow, that's great.
So that's awesome, right?
Yeah, it's good to see some of these people that are playing the big field events, because the thing is, in a big field event, a lot of times they last longer than some of these high rollers even, and so in the high rollers they can play more high rollers. So and obviously you don't have to get through 7,000, 6,000 people. So
Right.
in that field, again, all the big names, including 3 main event champions: Phil Hellmuth, Greg Raymer, Jerry Yang, Kathy Liebert was in there. Hellmuth cashed for $7,385. Let me make sure. Yep, $7,385, coming in 47th place. So I'm sure he was really happy with that result.
Heck yeah.
He did not harm any objects on his way out of the room there, and was very happy with everything that went on. The WSOP event number 12, the 5K No Limit Hold'em freeze out. 148 players started that, and there's 16 remaining coming into today. Returning players of 22K locked up with the next pay jump at 15th for 26,000.
And they
With
start at 2 p.m. today.
with a top prize of 649,000. Jeremy Iyer is your chip leader with 4.4 million. He has 812,000 in career earnings, currently ranked 210 on GPI. His best live cash is 144,000, and he's 3,000, just over 3,000th on the all-time money list. Why I say that is just, here's another guy just emerging out of the back of the pack, so to speak, to make his name. And that's what's great about the World Series is, you can work all year and study and play, and then come out and compete with everybody, who's anybody in the poker world. So Yuval Bronstein with 1.3 million will be vying for his third bracelet in that, and he just finished 9th in the 5K mixed No Limit Hold'em PLO event. So if he's able to get that done, then obviously he'll move up on the POI list as well. Event number 13, the $600 pot limit Omaha Deep Stack, had 32 entries, and Sean Deeb bags 1.265 million, putting him in 20th with 117 remaining, headed into, I think this is day 2, right?
It is day 2 with Aaron Ainge at the top of the heaps with 2.7 million.
Yes, thank you for saying that because I didn't have that.
Yeah, no problem.
So that's event number 13. Event number 14, day one was yesterday. They had 111 entries, 55 players remaining.
That was
with
the 10K 7-card stud tournament.
Yeah. And David Williams is leading that with 530,000 in chips. What time does that get kicked off?
1 p.m. Restarts at 1 p.m.
Excellent. So that one's well underway. And then the event number 15 starts today, right? The $1,500 six-handed no limit hold'em.
Right. So we're back down to day ones now.
So perfect. All right. So we're there. All right.
We made it, crew. We made it.
We made it through. Wow. Like, think about that. That's quite the update to, as we get into the series, there's so many tournaments going. And what we just covered is just the bracelet events for
and
today.
And the satellites, the non-bracelet events.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sherry, why don't you talk about some of the other tournaments around town today? And
okay, give me a second to pull it up because all right. So at the Aria, they have the PLO tournament, and it's a $600 buy-in. And I'm sorry, I thought this list that I took a screenshot of had the start time. So I have the printout. So let me look at that real quick. Today is Tuesday. That's going to start at 11 a.m. at the Aria, $600 PLO. The MGM Grand Series has a 400 no limit, and they don't have the start time on this list. So, and I don't have their thing printed out. So you'll have to look that up on Bravo, folks. Now the Orleans, this list is terrible. Let me go back to the way I was doing it. The Orleans has. I'm sorry, I thought that list had. Okay, the Orleans has an 11 o'clock ladies championship with a 50K guarantee, $500 buy-in. They have a 4 p.m. $240 Badoogie tournament with a 10K guarantee. At 7 p.m., they have a $200 no limit super stack with a 20K guarantee. The Grand Series over at am I still okay? I'm sorry. I thought I got disconnected. Over at the Golden Nugget, the Grand Series has the following available to play: the mixed triple draw low ball limit. I'm sorry, that's a mouthful. At 11 a.m. is a $300 buy-in. Their 1 p.m. is a daily deep stack no limit, 25K guarantee for $200 buy-in. Their 6 p.m. is a limit 2 to 7 low ball triple draw with a 5K guarantee for a $200 buy-in. Oh, I'm sorry, $130. Wait a minute, hold on. I want to make sure this is right. No, that is a $200 buy-in. And then at 7 p.m., they have their nightly no limit 5K guarantee, which is a $130 buy-in. So that's what's going on around town. Do you have the Venetian?
And I think that there's a satellite to the Aria Championship. Oh, but it's over at MGM today.
I don't have the MGM schedule. Sorry.
I saw that earlier, and I'll try to get that.
And I know that the Wynn has a Summer Classic 1100 no limit today, day 1C. And I don't have a starting time for that. So folks will need to check Bravo for that starting time. I want to say that it's 11, but I am not sure. So please look that up.
Yeah. And
the MGM's the MGM 440K starts at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
There you go.
And the Venetian Deep Stack Championship Series, $1,600 no limit.
Yeah, I was trying to find that.
I tried to find it too. They don't have it updated very well. I was a little
Okay,
surprised.
here we go. I got it. Today is the 6th. Today they have the 1600 No Limit Hold'em Ultimate Stack Day 2 restart. If you're still in that, that's at 11 a.m. And that one awards one of those cool trophies and a gold coin, and I'm sure a lot of cash. And then also at 11, really actually 11:10 is the $800 No Limit Hold'em Ultimate Stack 1-day event, and that's 11:10 a.m. Registration on that is open till 5:55. So if you're coming into town, make sure you get over there before 5:55. Guaranteed prize pool on that is 100,000, 40,000 in chips, 30-minute levels. And that starts today. I want to just say what for tomorrow, so people know what's coming up there. They're going to start their $1,100 pot limit Omaha Monster Bounty, and that's a 1-day event. $200 bounties from the start, and 2,000 bounties once we reach the posted payouts. So once that's an interesting way to put it. So once they get into the money, they're going to up the bounties to 2,000, and then that starts at 11:10 tomorrow. Again, 5:55 registrations open till with 100,000 guaranteed, 35,000 in chips, and 30-minute levels.
Sweet. Lots of fun stuff going on around town. If you can't find a cash game or a tournament to play today or anytime during the next month and a half, you are being too picky.
Yeah.
They also have the win 1100 1.5 million guaranteed starts at noon. Day 1C is today, day 1D is tomorrow, and then day 2 is on Thursday.
Sweet. Thank you for that.
And
I feel like I have to make my daily announcement right now.
Oh, go ahead. Yes.
And the daily announcement is to make sure you take the following pictures with your cell phone. 1, any entry ticket you purchase. 2, your stack of chips before you leave the table for a break. 3, your table number before you leave the table for a break. The 4th picture is your car in the parking spot in the garage, or at least the level number or the parking spot number so you know where you parked your car when you come out. And the 5th one would be any day 2 or day 3 or day 4 entry ticket, so that you have a copy of it. Because a lot of people, you make it to day 2, you go to your hotel, you go to sleep, get up, you run back to the tournament, and you left the darn slip on the side table. So just take those pictures so that you can save yourself a lot of aggravation, folks. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I
You're
wanted
good.
to pull up some of these restaurant recommendations and things like that. If nobody else has any questions, today I'll go through some of the steakhouses. These are from DW Poker's list, and David Williams is a food connoisseur. I think he was on MasterChef, right?
Yeah, and he gives some great recommendations.
Yeah, so he's somebody that knows. And for steakhouses, there's several that he recommends. I'll give stars to ones that I've been to that were good. I have not been to Jack Binion's there at Bally's. He says that it's surprisingly good for the location, especially probably a great place to go when you win your first bracelet.
Right.
Quality steaks and great sides, same price as the fancier steakhouses, though. So, obviously you have some really high-end steakhouses, but the short here is like, as far as the food, like great food. Gordon Ramsay steak at Paris. Low key, one of the best ribeye, also really good. He hasn't had the Wellington, but have heard it's also great. And then SW Steakhouse at the Win or Encore, he recommends. as well as Barry's Downtown Prime at Circa, and that's downtown. Cut at Palazzo, amazing Kobe, pricey best steak in Vegas. Now that Carnivino is gone, but with the Kobe, like I don't know how many of you guys have had it, but it really is kind of, for me, I thought it was like a different thing. I enjoyed it, but so I can see some people, it if you're used to just eating regular steaks and stuff, it is kind of a different thing.
It is a different. It is a different thing.
Yeah,
For sure.
although I haven't had the one at Cut Bazaar Meats. I've wanted to try that. The steaks are okay, but the reason to come is everything else. The apps and sides are great, and everything else is great. Bavette's at Park MGM, surprisingly good steakhouse out of Chicago with another contender for best burger. He mentions that because I skipped over Nusret, Nusr-et. It's outside of the T-Mobile Arena. He says is one of the best burgers in my life. So if you're
Okay.
looking for a burger, that might be a good. He only goes during lunch to avoid all the Instagram flair. I love that. And one that I've tried as well is Echo and Rig. Great steak, best value steak in Vegas. Awesome steaks for about $30. Sides equally as great. Portobello fries are a must order, he says. And that one's off the strip. So that one is, I think, up near Summerlin in that area, from what I remember.
Okay.
But a really cool place. They actually have a butcher downstairs. So if you have an Airbnb or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. So,
Well, I'm just going to pipe in with probably my favorite steakhouse. I've not been to millions of them in Vegas, but I've been to a few, and I still hold Hugo's Cellar near and dear to my heart. It's old school Vegas. Most of the waiting staff has been with that restaurant for over 30 years, which I think speaks volumes about the owner of the restaurant. And it's in downtown Vegas, and it's Hugo's Cellar.
yeah, that one's been there forever. I would say that mine, I got to pick two, Sherry, but they're kind of related. Is
Right.
either Delmonico's at Venetian um, or Emerald's Seafood, which is really a steakhouse too. Like they have seafood and steaks. And that's the one that I took. I don't know if you remember, I took Abby there, and she wakes up the next morning at like 8 a.m. and I asked her, "What do you want for breakfast?" She said, "One of those steaks would be good." I'm like, there is not a place open in town that does that. But I do think that Echo and Rig does have a weekend brunch, from what I remember. I'm not 100% on that, so
I've
don't
not
quote
been
me.
there, so I will look forward to putting that on my list.
But I won't go down the full
Right.
the full list of my favorites. But DW Bistro, I think it's DW Bistro. Let me just double check here. Yeah, DW Bistro, and that's off the strip, has like this really nice brunch on the weekends that they have their own pastry chef. So they have
Yeah.
amazing like croissants and different stuff with homemade jam or house-made jam, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's just, oh my goodness. The other thing there that's really good is this red pork dish that's like with eggs and stuff like that, like a Mexican kind of dish that's got a little kick to it, but just enough. So
Well,
anyway,
sounds yummy to me. I'm going to pivot for a minute, and I want to talk about Rachel Kay, which is a photographer that's working the WSOP event. And all of you have been introduced to her work. If you hadn't been before yesterday, you definitely were introduced to it yesterday, because she's the one that took the picture of Nick Schumann with his feet up on the table and a cigar as the winner of the event. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I just do photography for the fun of it, but to me, and I tweeted it. I think that's going to be the GPI award winning photo of the year. It's just a great photo. And I'm just going to say I'm a little disappointed with some of the publications that are using that photo and not giving her credit for that photo.
Oh yeah, that's
And
no
they've
way.
actually cut off her watermark. And we can do better, folks. We should do better than that. She took the photo, give her credit for the photo. You don't even have to write her name, but just leave her watermark on the photo at the very least.
Well,
Uh,
is it possible that they bought a license, Sherry?
uh, I would say to you in that short period of time that it's possible, but I would doubt it. And why would she not want her name on that photo?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no, I,
When we would buy the photos, I don't know if they had the watermarks on them. So
yeah,
Hey,
well,
I'm
Sherry,
and
not.
yeah, go ahead, Raj.
I'm looking at a WPT article on Schulman. They have the picture, but it says credit WSOP. So, does that make
Right.
sense, or should it be credit
Yeah.
to the photographer?
Well, and it is, I mean, to me, that's fine because they are giving it a credit to the WSOP photographer.
Yeah,
But there are some that have absolutely nothing showing where that photo came from. And quite honestly, I just think it's a great photo. Give the young lady credit for it. And
yeah.
if it was a man, I'd say the same thing. Whoever it is, give them credit for their photo.
So you're not just saying that because it's a female. No, I'm just
Absolutely not.
kidding.
I'm a photographer.
our, our,
Believe me.
our, 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 our friend said that the other night.
Yeah.
It had to be. It's pretty funny.
But and you know
Um,
where I've been with that story about me and my photos. So, for somebody
yeah,
to just deny her the recognition, and like I said, they don't even have to put her name in the article or the clickbait title of the article, but just leave her watermark is supposed to be up in the right hand corner because that's where it was on the original photo. So just leave that there. You can barely see it, and I see it because I'm a photographer, so I look for it. But just leave it on there. Don't chop it off. I
it,
mean,
and I know in past years. Correct me if I'm wrong with the name. That the gentleman Joe Giron, right?
Kieran, yeah.
Yeah, I know that they had a site, and anytime that we were going to use one of the photos, it wasn't hard to go in there, and they didn't charge a ton of money. I think if you're USA Today or some type of major publication, they wanted to maybe charge you a decent amount, but to use it as a player for yourself, like I always looked at it just, I mean, even if they weren't going to like cause me a problem over it, like it was a nice thank you to go in there and pay for the photo.
And I'm
Um,
and
and,
I
and, and I'll tell you, Sherry, the other thing too, that a lot of people don't realize that's how people started taking a lot of photos of me, because they knew I was going to buy them. So,
right. Well, and
um,
I'm gonna and because I've had this conversation with you off air, but
yeah,
I have a website, Peaches Poker Pics, and if I take your photo, you can go on my website and download that photo for free to use as your profile picture. Okay. You cannot download that photo and sell it. You cannot download that photo and use it as a marketing tool or make any type of money professionally with my photo. But I have no problem with you downloading your photo for free. And there's actually a little toggle you could click on that says, how do I download my photo for free? And I give you instructions on how to do it because I have given my photos away my entire life. But you're not going to take my photo and make money off my photo when I'm not even making money off my
yeah.
photo.
Well, and it's just a nice thing. It's kind of like, with Kev Math there, where you're saying to, give him a tip for all the help. It's an appreciation kind of thing of to, even like I said, even if it's not um not something that somebody's going to make a big deal about. It's nice
100%.
to thank people to come in for coming and doing that
And
work.
I'm going to tell you, if somebody and I've actually sold the license to some photos that I've taken, and and it's very cheap. and then they use it for their professional stuff. I don't care. That's the proper way to do it, right? And I give my photos away for free. And now, if you wanted to get a t-shirt made with your photo, then there's a charge for that. Or if you wanted to have a calendar made with all of your photos, that there would be a charge for that. But if you just wanted to download your photos so you can have an awesome photo of yourself at the poker table, by all means, enjoy. Nothing
So,
makes me happier.
so I want to talk a little bit about tomorrow because we have a major event starting tomorrow that's going to run through the weekend and probably multiple days into next week, maybe even. And that is the Gladiators of Poker No Limit Hold'em $3 million guarantee prize pool. Yeah, actually, it's a 6-day event. So the final table will probably be next to a week from today, is
Right.
likely.
And tell me what the buy-in is for that again, please.
So it's a bargain, Sherry. $300 buy-in, 30,000 in chips, 30-minute levels on day one, going to 40-minute levels on day two. And there's 2 re-entries per flight. So this is a nice tournament to be able to come in and be able to take a mulligan or two
Right.
throughout the week. And so that'll be running. So Wednesday they have flight one. I'm sorry. Flight A of that is Wednesday, Thursday flight B, Friday flight C, and then Saturday flight D, and then they'll move into day two, I'm sure, on Sunday
Right.
from that. So,
And they also have $50 satellites if you're even looking for more of a to get in.
Which I love that. When I read that this morning, I was like, hell yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like, pretty
yeah,
awesome.
that's great. I mean, like, just thinking, I was laughing because of just how you have some people that just say, man, I don't have the money to come play the World Series or that kind of thing. So what's
Here's your
what's the
chance.
over under, Raj, on the total entries for that? What do you think?
Oh wow.
Oh, I'll have to think about that. So it's 3 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say it'll get 4 million. So um
Yeah,
12.
it's got to go over the guarantee. So and too, thinking about that, that's that 300. I don't know what goes to the prize pool. So
Yeah,
Probably
that's what I was
250.
trying to look
Probably
up is
250.
what the
Yeah.
rake is.
but I did a little math. Just at 4 million, it would, with no fees, would be over 13,000.
Oh, I think they'll crush that.
So yeah, I mean, if they got 18,000 for the other, my gosh, this
Okay.
could really be one of the biggest
Okay.
poker
Let's
tournaments in
all
history.
let's the three of us make a prediction of what you think the number is going to be, just for the fun of it.
It's got
Oh,
to be over 25,000.
Ooh,
okay, you're saying 25, over 25. Raj, what are you saying?
I'm gonna go 20,000.
Raj is going 20,000. I'm going to pull the Price is Right. The Price is Right.
Listen,
Because
you
you can't go
suckered us.
over in
Oh,
your prediction. I'm going to say 17,000.
one player. No.
I was going to say that, but then you guys would be like, come on, that's some bullshit.
No. Hey, that's GTO right there,
It is
Sherry.
GTO, but I'm going to just play nice and say 17,000.
Ah, dang. So you need to go
Uh,
back and study your charts and your range
right.
charts there. So that'll be a good event. And the thing is that as the week goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to rebuy to get your second, buy, or not rebuy, your second re-entry. So that almost becomes a really big limiting factor on those final days. So I think that the play would be, if I were just going to fire one bullet, you know tell me what you think about this thinking, Raj. If I was just going to fire one bullet coming in on the last day and playing your one bullet, I think that's the best thing, because earlier on, people are going to be crazy. So you could have the reverse kind of thing, thinking, I only have one bullet. I want to go in when people are really splashy and that kind of thing, and maybe be able to pick up a big, um, stack. But I just think it puts you at a disadvantage in that kind of game. What do you think, Rush?
Yeah, I would agree. If I had only had one bullet, I'd go on Saturday, buy in, and start at the first level. And I think when people see those re-entry lines, they're going to be a lot more careful in how they approach these rebuys. So I think you're going to get a much more value on the last day, and obviously it's going to be the biggest day, so you've got a chance to win a lot more chips than the other days. So
Well,
Yes.
I have a different point of view on that.
Yeah, go ahead, Sherry.
My point of view is I want to try to go when there's the least players in the field. So I'm going the first or second day when there's the least amount of people and lines, and I'm going to have 3 bullets, and I'm just
Well,
going to
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite, right? If you have a lot of bullets, like you're going to go day one and, and fire away, but
And honestly, it would only be that day. Even if I had 1 bullet, I would still do day A1 or 1A or 1B.
well, what about that? Like, I think maybe the ideal would be to have three, right? So you have the
Yeah.
both the best worlds,
Yeah.
right? On day one, you're in there splashing around with everybody with your 2 bullets, and then you're like, okay, I better tighten up and play my last day there,
Right.
with 1
Right.
bullet.
But I don't want to be there on Saturday when there's possibly twice the field size of day 1 of the
Well,
first of a day.
and people that were looking at those photos of people trying to get out for their breaks,
Nightmare.
for those with crowd anxiety, like it was like, oh my goodness.
Nightmare. I mean, honestly, when they put that picture of the hall, I was like, first of all, where's everybody going? That means all of us are going to the same places. And what
Yes.
what are the lines going to look like at those places? Like, where are we
Yes.
all going?
Yes. Yeah, and that's another thing, just too, like as you enter something like that, especially there are fire exit doors,
Yeah. Yeah, there are.
and things like that, near the um, near where you go into the room where the final table is. I think there are, but
Yeah.
anyway, look around, because in some kind of an emergency or something like that, you're going to want to find one of those doors.
Well,
God
and there
forbid.
are, and I'm going to tell you that that was one thing I looked at last year.
Yeah,
There are a lot of doors that you can go through in case of emergency, but definitely be aware of your surroundings so you know ahead of time where you're heading.
yeah, because that.
I do want to, especially on Friday, Saturday, I think it's going to be crazy line. So there is obviously the Bravo app. The TBIC, unfortunately, you need a minimum of 2,500 deposit. So for people playing this event, maybe that might not make sense if they have a limited budget. But I would definitely go and log in, and you can use your credit card or debit card, and the fee is only $10 to $15, which might be worth it if you save 2 or 3 hours standing in line. So definitely get verified when you get to the WSOP. So in case you do want to use your credit card or debit card, you're able to log into Bravo and sign up for the tournament and don't have to, wait in the 2-3 hour lines that might happen on Friday, Saturday.
Hey, great suggestions there. Great job. And let me tell you, yesterday they were down to 1 working kiosk. And somebody posted a line of everybody in line for that 1 working kiosk.
Yeah, that has been a little bit of an issue this year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they're going to get that straightened out this week.
Yeah.
Uh, I think maybe I'll check in. Maybe you or I should check in with KevMath and see what he has to say, if they've got an update on getting those fixed. Any 2-car?
Yeah, this is Brian again. How's it going?
Hey, Brian.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So yeah, one thing Kev Math said earlier in the week is, which is super important. If you do that kiosk, which is nice, it is the 2,500, like Raj said. But if you do that, it's not when you print your ticket out. You're registered at 10 a.m., which is different from the previous, your stack wasn't in play until you printed it out or whatnot. But now it's actually in play right away. So if you do that and you're like, well, I'll come a few hours later for late reg, it's going to blind you off. So
Right.
you definitely want to be aware of that. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, since I'm getting there Friday morning, can't check in the hotel till later, I'm going to play a little cash, and then I'm going to late reg that flight, which is Friday. I think you have till 4:30 to late reg, so I know it's kind of going to be wild, but drop a stack in for that, hopefully one, but maybe two, and then the next day I'll have the fresh buy-ins at 10 a.m. But that's going to be my strategy, and a lot of tournaments I'm going to do that, just kind of late reg, drop a stack in, because the structures are pretty good that you can get away with that kind of and make something happen and skip half the day. So that's another thought, but we'll see.
Yeah, especially if you're there and you're going to play every day, and you're playing, you're doing well, you're playing late into the night. It definitely is a good idea to think about taking at least some of the events and showing up a little late to them. Although, just all things being equal, I don't always do that. But
Yeah, no,
on years where you're on the grind,
right, yeah, exactly. And my thing, I think it's all kind of relative to your bankroll. So those are going to be lower buy-ins that I would do that. Obviously, my bigger ones, I want to be there. Okay, baby, sorry, it's my daughter there.
That's
But
okay.
so bigger buy-ins, I'm with you. You want to be there from the beginning to build some chips. But if you're kind of taking, those are kind of, like you said, I think it's going to be over 25,000. I mean, the $500 one was that big 50 a few years ago. Bella, I'm so sorry. Hold on, baby.
It's okay.
Hold on. I'm
now
making you
whatever
pancakes.
you do, don't bring
You
her
know.
to the World Series. They won't let her in.
No.
Ryan.
Nope. I flew the in-laws out, so the parents are gonna. That's how I'm getting away for 12 days. So
Yeah, I tried to do that. It didn't work. So until.
But yeah, that $500, that big 50 got 28,000. So yeah, I'm thinking with you, it might even get over 30K. Now maybe some of them got I mean, because the other one was 18,000, the 1K mystery. So maybe it eats up some of them, or they took that shot first. But I'm thinking it could hit 30K. I'm thinking anywhere between 22 to maybe 30K. I mean, it just depends. There's
That's
3 entries per day.
That's exciting. I like the
Yep.
numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the millions too. The mystery millions followed that kind of like same path, right? Where they had a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday. But again, it
Right.
being 300 instead of 1,000, a lot more people can afford a
And you
second.
can do a $50 satellite.
Yeah, that's awesome too. I just love the idea that, and one of the reasons that I wanted to do on this show is to people that never make it or can't make it this year, you know people can join and talk about the experience of being there, talk about everything except for bad beats. But and then obviously questions and things like that. So it's a lot of fun to at least share that experience of what it's like to sit down and have Phil Hellmuth or Phil Ivey or Negranu or somebody sit down and and go to battle with them. So
Well, and I'm just going to add one thing to that. If you happen to get into heads up of an event, we will let you tell us, and you end up second place, we will let you tell us about that bad beat.
yes, yeah, for sure. Actually, we could expand that a little bit, right, Sherry? Any final table bad beats,
Yes.
and bad beat isn't 52%, 48%, but
Oh.
we'll leave that to your kind of discretion. But you will get banned if your bad beat is too close to like a coin flip. Let's just say that way.
You're hilarious. Or if you're like the 14th out. If you don't make the final table, no bad beat stories.
So Sherry, this I keep seeing this on every few years, and Matt Affleck, he posted about how he has to watch his bad beat at the final table. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
him
yes,
getting
a
crushed.
heartbreaker. I
Yeah.
felt so bad for that kid. I wanted to cry. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I did cry.
So I've tried to tell him several times what the problem is, but he hasn't responded or whatever.
Right,
And really, here's the thing, Sherry. I was there. I was sitting behind his buddies,
right,
and his buddies are talking about how he left his glasses when he did the ESPN interview. He
right.
left his glasses. He went back. He couldn't find his glasses. So I'm like, you guys, like, I don't even know any of these people. I'm like, you're the rail, okay? So, and this is just for everybody there. Like, your friend gets to the end, your family member gets to the end, you're on the rail. Like, you need to go get the guy some glasses. Like, whatever you got to do.
100%.
If you got to get that optometrist there with his machine in a trailer or whatever you got to do, like, I blame that all on his rail. He would
Yeah.
not have taken that bad beat had his friends taken care of him and gotten him some glasses. So I mean, I offered to lead his rail next time, but he's probably just busy and hasn't gotten back to me. But you know, you would think like you'd learn the lesson by now. But
Well, and I felt that was such a bad. I tell you, it was like the stake in the heart for every poker player to watch that hand, right?
yeah,
It just really was. It was just so heart wrenching, and he was just so devastated by
just
it.
crushed.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was so crushed. Oh, yeah, those are moments, though, aren't they?
That's the main event. You pick up aces
Yeah,
and hopefully that you can somehow keep that scene from rolling around in your head too
and
much. So
in my case, and Donna will probably send up a laughing emoji. It's going to end up being pocket jacks, isn't it, Donna? For me,
oh,
it's going to be pocket jacks. But yeah, it's a heartbreaker. God Almighty, it was hard to watch. I wasn't even involved, and I was having a
yeah,
legit
it
heart
was
attack.
just, and it was funny watching it happen and then watching it back. You're hoping that it's gonna change or something
He's laughing at me.
because he seems like such a nice guy. He
Yeah,
just like
yeah. You
all of
had to
his
root for him, right? You had
all
to
of
root.
his family and friends and stuff. They were all super nice people. They just didn't know how to run a rail. So
It was
that's okay though.
unfortunate.
That's okay. Only millions of dollars were on the line, and they blew it for him. No. It's important that you hold people accountable though for that. Like I did with my dad when he cheered on the turn, gave him that 10-year ban from the main event.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest with you. Your brother is the one that deserves a band.
Yeah.
Too. You missed
Oh.
out on that band
Oh
because
yeah.
he woke you up at wee
Yeah.
hours in the morning when you're trying to rest for a big tournament.
Yeah. First main event calls me at 7 a.m. to wish me good luck. I was like, oh my gosh, you are out of your mind. But my friend did blame that on me. He said, if you would have had your phone on do not disturb, then So yeah, so tomorrow is the Gladiators of Poker No Limit Hold'em Day 1A. The freeze out is they're also having the event number 19, the $2,500 freeze out No Limit Hold'em. That's a 3-day event. And then for those of you that enjoy a little bad doogie, there's a six-handed $1,500 bracelet event for that. That starts at 2 o'clock. So
Can
uh,
you try approving Donna? It for some reason I'm getting an error message, and it won't let me approve her to become a speaker. Thank you.
let me just, I don't have her as asking, so I sent her an
Oh,
invite.
sorry, Donna. It sounds like Twitter's starting to go bad on us. Hopefully, we
Starting to
get it.
starting to weird out here. Okay, so just going back to today, I want to go through. Just starting now at 10 o'clock is the $600 PLO Deep Stack Day 2. If you're not there and you're on Day 2, Sean Deeb, you better get over there and get going, my friend. The day one of the $1,500 no limit six-handed is also just kicked off here at 10 o'clock. 12 o'clock is the $25,000 eight-handed no limit hold'em high roller. 1 p.m. is the 10K 7-card stud day 2, and 2 p.m. is the $5,000 no limit hold'em freeze out day 3. So, and then the last one is day 1 of the $1,500 no limit. I'm sorry, the $1,500 Omaha high low 8 or better, and that starts at 2 p.m. So
Donna, we can't get you in the room. Sorry.
she's here.
I'm
I know, but
here.
it's not approving her, is what I mean. So go ahead
She,
and leave and come right back
no,
in.
don't leave, Donna. You're here.
It won't let me approve her to speak.
I'm
So she's got to
speaking,
leave
sir.
and come back in so I can approve her.
Hang on. Speak, Donna.
I'm speaking.
Roof, roof.
You can't hear her, Sherry?
No.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I'll leave and come
Yeah,
back.
she's got to go back out
Yeah,
and come
leave
back
and
in,
come
love.
back. Yeah, she was up here. I could hear, but unknown how many people can hear her or
Yeah,
not.
Twitter's starting to go crazy. Sorry. I
I
hate
just
it.
want to give another shout out to Dutch Boyd finishing second there, man. He's been really really working hard over the last several years, and it can be a grind to get just the daily of playing these tournaments during the series. So now it says that Sherry declined to co-host. It's quickly going astray. There's Donna. There you are, Donna. But somehow Sherry invite to co-host. Let me invite Sherry back. There
Oh
she
my
is. Okay,
gosh.
perfect.
Twitter's going crazy. We should probably go
Wow.
ahead and end it. But Donna, try to get your
Yeah.
words in before you get tossed from the Twitter
Yeah.
spaces for technical issues, babe.
Let's hope that
There you go.
Pluskota Eric manages to register and play that. What is it that is playing? Is it that Omaha game? Ryan?
The 1508, yeah.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, let's hope he can get up in time and register for it.
Yeah, he was on the spaces till wee hours this morning, wasn't he?
Yeah, until I ordered him off.
Who is getting on there?
Poker Pro Eric got on Twitter Spaces in the, I don't know, I got in the middle of it, so I don't know if he started at 4 or 5 this morning with Jimmy Bluffett and Fanboy.
He was still on at that time because
Well, that's
I went.
okay. So
Yeah,
when was he on with you? When did you get on there?
I woke up around I think midnight or something, and I joined on there, and then some knuckleheads started coming in there, so I dropped for a minute and came back in. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, because I got in there at like, I don't know, 8 o'clock, so this morning or something, and I just thought they had just started, an hour or two before that. So I have no idea. But Donna came in there and told them to shut it down.
shut it down, get some sleep. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah, I told Eric. I
Got
said,
to take
dude.
care of these crazy guys, man.
They
That
were
is
having,
a thing. If you're coming and you're going to buy into $1,500 or whatever, $300, who cares? Like, get yourself some sleep the night before, and don't go out partying, and definitely don't jump on spaces. No.
Well, and not for all night long. I told him, I said, dude, aren't you supposed to be playing a tournament in a few hours? You better go to sleep.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
yeah,
So,
I fell asleep. I think they started at around 1 a.m. Eastern time. I fell asleep around 4.
oh,
Was it
And
that
then,
late? Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
then
woke up and they were on. So
I
I
think
was
they
like,
had Keating on. So I think Alan Keating came on. So they probably kept it on for him, if I had to guess.
yeah, I dropped it. Yeah, I saw him come up, and then I was like, this is too late. I'm going to sleep. I kind of had a feeling it might go a little long once he popped in there.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, he is still up. He's going to sleep. He's got a tournament tomorrow. I'm always worried about the next day. Like, we want you to win and you got to be at your best. So sleep
Yeah.
is the priority, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway,
So I
So
well,
put my
yeah,
foot down with a firm hand, so to speak.
yeah. Oh, you're hilarious. I love you so much.
Love you
Oh,
too.
all right. Well, I think we can end it, Brian. What do you think?
sounds great, my friends. And we'll see you tomorrow. I hope you all have a great day. Run up some stacks and get to the end here. And and I won't fail you. I'll get to Vegas to rail the final table for you.
I
So
love it. Have a good day and thank you, everybody.
all right, bye bye.
Bye.